Hello again, and this is Lydia from JjajjasBakes, and in this video I'm going to show you how I assembled the reverse draped cake. First I rolled out my black fondant to about 1/8 of an inch thickness because that's what I used to cover my cakes. Then I draped it over my folded 8.5 inch tall cake. However, this fondant wasn't as easy to work as my usual. It's a bit more rubbery, so it was a little harder to work, but practice makes life much easier, so it wasn't as difficult, especially since the cake is taller than usual. I trimmed off the excess at the bottom of the cake, then used a pair of fondant smoothers to work those sharp edges at the top. Don't mind about the wobbliness, the cake is actually pretty firm. So next, after this, is the assembly. I sharpened a dowel that I had cut to size through the back of a covered board. Used my cutters as a hammer to knock it through all the way until it lays flat, so my board is going to sit flat on the table. So on to flipping the cake off the board, I had iced it on so I can put it on the final board. I used a layer of parchment paper and an acrylic disc, which I can strongly advise is not a good idea, as you're going to see very shortly. So I used some leftover royal icing that I had around, and this is going to be my glue to attach the cake to the board. Just remember not to use too much of it, otherwise when you flip your cake back it might squish out the sides, and that's not a very sightly thing. So take off the excess. Then now I was supposed to attach the drape. I forgot, brought my board, thought that's what was going on next. Remembered the drape, thank goodness. Otherwise I would have had to do a lot more work. Now this is a gumpaste drape, so if you've got someone to help you put this stiff thing on, all the better for you, because it's not very easy to do single-handedly. Use some more glue, some more icing as glue. This will be to stick this to the board. Then I pushed my board through the center of the cake, pressed it onto the cake, and then flipped it back. Now here is what happens when you use parchment and an acrylic disc to flip, because I almost dropped the cake. You can see it bounced off the table, but thank goodness it did not crack or collapse, because it is pretty firm. So I used a brush to brush off any crumbs that might have fallen off the gold part of the cake. And yeah, I'm not going to steam it again because of royal icing. Now to attach the flowers, I pushed the folded floral wire through a drink straw that I'd cut to size and pushed that into the cake. You should never push a floral wire directly into the cake, but use a drink straw or a flower pick, because that's more sanitary. And that is my upside down drape cake. I hope you enjoyed it.